I gave up soda for a month, and by the end, I broke my habit. Growing up, I always treated soda like an occasional treat that was to be enjoyed with particular foods, like greasy pizza and buttery popcorn. Soda was always. As I got older, I just began pairing soda with most junk foods, similar to how I would pair red wine with most pasta dishes. I didn't drink soda, but for the past year or so, it felt an unshakable desire to drink soda more often. To try to kick this hay race, what it was like trying to give up soda for an entire month. Reinagle said, if you're looking for a way to satisfy soda cravings without drinking the stuff, she recommends drinking plain, carbonated water seltzer with a squeeze of citrus, like lemon, or a splash of cranberry juice or pomegranate juice. So, with her advice in mind, I began my 30-day challenge. It didn't get off, but then I remembered that I was giving up soda in the name of journalism, so I ended up leaving the drink on the corner of my desk while I longingly stared at it throughout the day. Since this week consisted of a lot of social obligations and late-night takeout orders, I found myself struggling to deal with a lot of soda cravings. At one press event I attended this week, I ate a few bags of potato chips, which gave me a strong craving for soda. It took a lot of will. I also struggled not to order soda when I was at a work-related meeting at a bar. I had to vet the things didn't get much easier at the end of the week. My at-home movie. In order to satisfy my craving for a fizzy drink, I decided to try sipping a can of sparkling water. I ended up read more. Fortunately, my cravings were under control this week, and there were no moments when I almost gave into temptation. I attribute my lack of cravings to the fact that I drank ready-made, cold-pressed juices with my lunch almost every day this week. Since these juices this week, I also made a few smoothies for breakfast and dessert to further eliminate my desire to consume liquefied sugar. And although I didn't, one of the toughest parts of the third week was when I was trying to figure out if I could drink ginger beer or not. Some of my friends, with no real, satisfying answer, I ultimately decided ginger beer was not a soda, and I mixed it with gin and lime juice for my own version of a delicious, soda-free cocktail. Equipped with my 32-ounce water bottle and an array of organic, cold-pressed juices, I hardly realized that I was doing the no soda challenge at all. Since my craving, for me, the hardest part of the entire month was the fact that I was actively thinking about something I couldn't have. At first, to be fair, I feel like the challenge was probably a bit easier for me because I am not someone who used to drink soda every single day. Before this challenge. That being said, if you're someone who consumes soda on a regular basis and you want to cut back or quit drinking it altogether, you may not want to quit cold turkey as I did. Reinagle said the
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.